Hello, I'm Randy, and I am a gosh darn video game developer. And I figure what better way to show you that you can be a video game developer yourself. I gotta stop saying video game. Video game developer yourself than by showing you my piece of crap game that I made. It was my very first game that I ever released, and I figured I'd play through it and kind of go through the thought process in making it and share it with you just so you can get some inspiration. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. I love watching that stuff, and it lets me, kind of massage my ego a little bit, because I'm pretty proud of what we made. So let's get to it. Come on, join me, won't you? All right, we're rolling. Sorry about the Twitch layout. This is just the easiest way to do it for me. Plus, you need to be able to see the whole screen because that's how this works. Looking a lot like Shia LaBeouf right now for some reason, but we're just gonna roll with it. All right, so we're gonna hit play. This is the Unity project. We use Unity version something 2020.1.12 F1. That is just, I believe it was just the current Unity version when we started this project. We also, I have to preface this by saying this is a collaborative effort between myself and Luke Payne, who you can find at New Game Dev, new spelled N-U. Go look him up. He doesn't have a lot going on right now, but he will, and he's going to be a superstar one day. So we use the collaborate option with Unity right there. You see that collaborate tab? We actually use that. We would work on what we were going to work on, and then we would upload it, publish it, and then we would be able to sync it back down to our version. A little finicky, a little rough, but we had a few issues, but it ended up working out pretty well considering it was free and fast, and that's what we needed because we worked different schedules. But here's Moon Jump. I'm going to hit play here, and we're going to jump right into it. Moon jump right into it. So we've got this menu here, and going to give credit to Luke a lot in this video. And I will say, like, Luke did most of the programming and a lot of the technical stuff that I didn't want to do. I definitely didn't want to do this menu. I didn't want to make the art for the menu. While the art's not amazing, it gets the job done. So I give him credit for that. I'm not going to dig into what Luke worked on too much. I will give generalities about what he did and how he did it to the best of my understanding. But I'm not going to expose him in that way. I'm not going to reveal his work because it's not my work to reveal. So if he wants to show it off himself, again, you can go check him out at New Game Dev, NU Game Dev. I'm going to hit start. Okay, so what we have here is level 1, and this is probably the level that came out the best, which is dumb to say because there's not a lot to it, but this is kind of 100% what I had in mind when this game was envisioned. And this screen right here, like before I even had the art or any of the gameplay in mind, once we came up with the concept, I'm like, okay, here's level 1, and I envisioned this screen exactly, more or less. And it's as simple as like, oh, hey, we got to introduce the concept to the player, so, well, you can't get up there until you figure out you can do that, right? And the timer, this is going to be a long level because I'm going to be explaining a lot right up front. The timer was there to kind of obviously keep people from staying on the moon too long. It also adds a sense of urgency when you're trying to figure stuff out. It makes logical sense that you'd be running out of breath while you're on the moon. One of the only things I will credit Sonic the Hedgehog for is kind of the underwater, when you're running out of breath, it's going dit, 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 dit. That was directly what I stole this from. And yeah, so there's that. But basically we saw this like, oh, this is a platformer. I see I have to jump over there. And then I need to get up there. Oh, wait, why can't I get up there? Well, let's press the only other button that does anything. And there you go. You've beaten the level. You now understand how this game works in the very first seconds of the game. And that's what I intended. Alright, so that door was there because we really couldn't figure out a better way to do it. Let me back up a little bit. So I had always envisioned this as one screen. The screen you see is the level that you play, and that is it. It will not move. It will not go up. It will not go down. You will not progress through the screen. You will go from one screen on the Earth to the other screen on the moon, and you will go back down, and then that is all you will do. The reason I did that is because we needed to do this quickly, and we needed to have a point of reference for where you were going to land. If you, let's say you jump up on the moon here and you move the screen a little bit, and then jump back down, you won't know exactly where you're going to land back on the moon. But if you know that, hey, I launched here on the Earth and I launched back down in the exact same spot, you're going to land in the exact same spot. That was why Luke and I fought hard about that, because yeah, scrolling is more interesting. I would love to make a scrolling adventure with this concept. It just wasn't in the cards. We only had a month. I'm very busy. He's very busy. It just wasn't going to happen. I won out because I designed the levels, and take that, you jerk. I'm joking. So Luke got the controls working. It feels pretty good. It's a little weird, a little wonky. Not through any fault of his own. We didn't have much time to work on it. And we kind of just used the physics engine in Unity to do a lot of this collision and movement stuff. So it's a little weird, but it does work. It doesn't feel bad. It just, you know, it's just a little off. If I had more time, and I will eventually work on this more, then I will iron that stuff out, make it more precise. But as it is right now, it gets the job done. So level 2, this is when I started showing people, and they were instantly like, oh, I get it. So the first level, they're like, oh, that's kind of neat. And then this level, I went like this, boom, walked over. Oh, you can't get up there. You can't get up there. And walk back down, boom, jump over the place you just were, back up, back down. And people are like, oh, I see what you're getting at. Keep in mind the music. I think works for what we were going for. It's pretty funny. It's royalty free. It is a performance of William Tell. Luke is a music nerd, so that was his choice. It fits really well. I have no problem with it. But anyway, this level didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted it to. I wanted you to have to go back over here, jump from here to there, to then try to jump here. Oh, I failed. Back up here, then back over here, and then back over here. All that kind of works. I don't know. I can't really explain it very well, but I had a lot more grand ambitions for this level. But basically what I wanted to introduce is that, hey, you're going to have, not only are you going to have to shoot up to the moon, but you're going to have to jump while you're on the moon. You have to be able to do that. If you can't do that, you will not progress, because here's the next level where this one is more, I designed this to introduce the timer more or less, because this one takes a little while when you're on the moon. So you go up, and here's a little kind of little maze here. It's a little tricky, especially with the physics being such as they are. And you realize that your time is running out. You see his face like blowing up. He's gonna die. Well, I'll just let him die. Yeah. So he died. So I wanted you to get the sense of urgency. Like, okay, now that you understand what you're going for, do it quickly. Figure it out. Once you're up there, you need to figure it out, because you ain't gonna be up here for very long. So that's what that was for. And I made it a little easy, right? Because I didn't want people to die here, but I did want to give people a little tight. I did it instantly. I designed the level, so of course I'm going to do it very well. This is a really good level to tell you about some of the art and sound effects too, because I love the way this main character looks. He actually got a fair amount of praise. There are very few frames in his animation. So his walk frame is stand still, leg up, stand still, leg up, and that's it. And we cycle between those two back and forth. And the reason he gets a little like hop is because I just had Luke make him go up 1 pixel, literally 1 pixel when he walks. In fact, I could probably stand to do a little bit more, but that might break the physics. That might be what broke the physics a lot of times, actually, but it adds so much. Just a little hop when he walks, it looks really good. The hat was something that I added because I think that's really, really funny. That he would put a hat. For whatever reason, it stays on, and it kind of hovers off when he jumps down, but it pops back right back on. I think that's funny. When he launches, you're not going to be able to see it, but he holds it in his hand. Can I pause it? Yeah, nope. There we go. I did it. Oh, I guess the launch animation's broken. Alright, well, and I can add that. Obviously, inspired by cartoons. Gotta have some cartoon sound effects. Rocko's Modern Life, gotta have some farts. The sound effects, the bonk is something I just stole from the internet, and the sound effects of him jumping, that's me going, hit! That's all that is. The fart is literally me just going, that's it. And that's kind of it for the design of the character. I really like how he turned out. Apparently the launch animation is severely broken, which bums me out, but it's okay. It's hard to see it anyway. Alright, so here's where I'm like, okay, I need to introduce a new mechanic on level 3 already. So I had an idea of a one-way platform, because Yeah, I wanted you to be able to have to go up, but aren't able to come back down. So you're introduced to that right away. Like, oh, I jumped up through it, but I can't get back down. I can't get back down. Oh, can't reach it now. With my regular jump, there's only one other option. Boom. And if I try to go back down, it ain't happening. I wanted you to know that. And now you see, like, okay, oh, well, whoa, I'm landing on red. Red does the opposite. I understand how blue works. Now I understand how red works, which means I won't be able to get through there. And now, oh, and now I see that I can fall if I go through the other way. And same thing there, introducing you again. Hey, by the way, if you go through the flat side, you're going to fall through. If you try to go through the bumpy side, you're going to... And they're Legos, because children. Children, and it's funny. Spikes. You're introduced to spikes in this level. You can't get killed by them, but they're there, and if you're smart, you realize, like, hey, pointy things will kill you. Safety scissors will kill you. I thought the safety scissors was a funny idea, so that's what I rolled with. And I had a lot of trouble with the collision on the safety scissors. I wanted to make sure that was still recording. It kind of looked like it wasn't, but I think it is. Because all it is a one big tile that says, hey, kill the player. And because we're using the Unity physics, it doesn't have an exact pixel perfect collision, so if you get even remotely close, you're dead. It is really tight, and you won't see it here, but later on it gets tight. So here I put those up there just so you couldn't land on a spot I didn't want you to land on. I could have done that with regular tiles, I guess, but that was I don't know. I showed you the Legos. Let's use the Legos again. Alright, so literally the only thing you can do right there. Oh, also introducing you. Hey, you're gonna have to jump over these spikes, just so you know. And there's spikes over there. You can see them. They're gonna show up at some point. Right here, another timer thing. This is me testing you, like, oh, how fast can you figure this out? You can safely get back to the Earth here, as long as you don't land over here, which I'm not sure you can. You might be able to. Let's see. No, you can't. I designed that so that didn't happen. So you can safely experiment over here. I didn't want you to... This is level 4. I don't want you to rush. So, alright, figure out how to get up there. Oh, I gotta do some weird jumping. Oh, now I gotta sprint because I know there are spikes below me. But this little space, that probably indicates that it's safe, so let's go. And it's safe. There you go. If you get a little too trigger happy, you're like, oh god, I'm running out of time. Ah! Gah! The beauty about it being one screen is that even if you die, there's not a lot of time that you have to redo. You just go back and you're like, oh, well, I know how to do this part now. It's not so bad. And then I'm just back over here, and now I know I just got to do it over here. But I hope that visual dip helps you realize that that's what you're supposed to do. Here's where I'm just like, okay, guess what? You're just going to have to do some platforming now. It's on. Obviously, you can't... You should know by now that you cannot launch up through that. That's why those are there. And this was the idea where I wanted... This is when I wanted to introduce that, hey, levels, they're going to have multiple, I guess, paths or multiple uses, I guess. You see this level, it looks pretty straightforward. You just jump across and you're like, wait a minute, I can't get up there. I probably just have to go up here. Like, oh, no, wait, I have to do more jumping. So then you do some more jumping. And then you're like, oh, no, wait, I got to go down here now. And then, oh, wait, I have to do some more jumping. And I like the idea that, oh, you have to basically traverse through the same obstacles again to really test that, oh, no, you can do it, only it's harder now. I really like that idea. So that's what this level was for, is to say, hey, you're going to learn something down there, you're going to shoot up to the moon, you're going to do it again, only now it's upside down, and then you're going to do it a third time, only now it's going to be the ultimate, final, harder challenge before you finish the level. And of course, if you fall down there, which I'm not going to do, you have to do the whole section again, so don't mess up. This level is super duper ugly, but it's also one of my favorites, so this is a really good way to show off how wonky the collision is, or the physics. So you jump up through here, for whatever reason he does a little hop, and I don't know why. But if you get a little trigger happy, you see there's some obscured spikes down there. I'm not crazy that they're dark like that, but whatever. And you see that there are paths kind of in columns and pillars and stuff. You don't want to shoot all the way up there. You should know that, like, if I shoot, I'm going to hit the spikes. You should know that, right? That's just common sense. So I put them there to make sure that, hey, sometimes launching is going to be real rotten for you. And here, again, you can launch yourself back just to be safe. Get yourself a lay of the land here. You should understand that you have to do this again, right? Over there. Same thing as last level. You see that? Over there, you have to do it again. Only you have to get there, and you have to do it within a certain amount of time. The thing I wanted to introduce here is that this is the only time I do this in this entire game, but it's really one of my favorite ideas, is that you start to run out. You won't make it. Unless you were very, 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 very quick, you will not make it. So you get here, you've got about 3 seconds left. You're not going to make it, so you got to pop back up. Get some air. Pop back down. Here we go. Can't shoot. You can't shoot up. Remember, you're going to hit the spike, so that's why you're going to... That was very tight, too. And you just barely made it even with that. Same thing over here. I want the same concept where, like, okay, I'm learning something. I get it. I have to jump back and forth, kind of like a wall jump. If I had a wall jump in this game, that's probably where I would have put it. Maybe I should put a wall jump. No, not worry about it right now. That's another thing I wanted to make sure is that you have all the tools necessary to beat each level from the get-go. You just got a couple buttons. So I wanted to do that. Down here, same thing. You should know, like, hey, I taught you in the beginning that you're not going to have enough air to get up there, so pop. Got some air. Pop. And then back down. I got to do it again. I'm catching on to you, Randy. A little bit of weird sound effect issues there. I'm not sure why that happens. Okay. So here is where I want to introduce that you can jump while... Or, sorry, you can moon jump while you're in the air. I wanted to introduce that to you. It gets a little weird if you try to do it in certain spots. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe we fixed it. I think we fixed it. There's a time where if you did it on the low end of your jump, you wouldn't make it. Because of Unity's weird physics, but I think we ended up... fixing it. So, obviously you try to go here. You're not making it. You try to go back up. You're not making it. You try to go this way. Obviously it ain't going to work. You try to get here. Nothing. So what you got to do, and this actually stumped a few of my friends, is that you have to jump, hacha, and get up there. Then you're like, okay, that's what I had to do. I'm probably going to have to do it again because that ain't going to get it done. So, wah-cha. And here I am over here. And then a third time, boosha. And then a fourth time, an unprecedented fourth time, just so you really, really get it that you're going to have to do that before you move on. And sure enough, I test you on it. So you fall down there. That's just, you can't possibly get hit by that. Either one of these, really. You'd have to be really, really, really thinking of something strange if you got killed here. But I think it looks cool. So I did that. Hallway. Hey, you know what you got to do. Babusha. Same thing here. You're not going to make it. Push. Same thing here. You're not going to make it. Push. Same thing over here. You're not going to make it. Boosh. Now this is where I get a little cheeky. I wish I had introduced this a little better, but at the same time, we didn't have a lot of time, so I couldn't introduce it that much better. And I did similar things in earlier levels, but more or less, you're not gonna make it. You might do that, and you're gonna realize, oh crap, I'm back here. Do it again. Oh, I'm back here. Oh, back here. That ain't working. What am I supposed to do? You should understand how these red blocks work by now. So, boom, love it. That should be like a really good aha moment, and then you realize you got to jump again. Hopefully this little lip here, this right here, is a visual indicator that that's what you have to do. And then you move on. Oh, yeah. Here's my masterpiece. Okay. So, that green goo is there to prevent you from jumping. So I can do more puzzly things, right? This is more action-y. Jumping is an action-y type of thing. Whereas... the moon jump is more puzzle-oriented. Right? You cannot jump when you're in this. Straight up. But if you jump over here, you can! The physics, getting the physics to work on this was a nightmare. There were times where he could jump. There were times where he couldn't jump when he wasn't on it. It was just strange. I'm sure it doesn't work perfectly 100% of the time. It's much better than it was. So I'll take it. But obviously there's really only one option here. I wanted to introduce it to you. Boom, gotta go up. Can't go that way. Boom, back down. Can't go that way. I guess I have to go over here first. Oh, well, I can't jump, and going back up to the moon doesn't do anything, so... aha! I have to walk off. That's cool. Can't jump. Same thing over here. Boom. I wanted people to do this. Like, oh, that's not right. So So go back over here, and you should know by now, like, hey, you can jump when you're not on it, or at the very least, if you don't, you should know by now, right? They should make logical sense to you. Jump over. Boom. Success. And now you're tested on it, sort of. This is, I don't know if I should put this here. This is a little hard, but it's a puzzly area. So you jump up here. It's the only place you can jump. Gotta go back up. Your first instinct might be go here, or actually it might be to just moon jump up. But then you're gonna get stuck there, so that ain't gonna work. So back up here, moon jump. You can't get up there, so you might try to go over here. But you should know, if you go back down here, what is right next to you? Right there. Those are spikes. So you should know. This was me trying to line up to our original vision, which was I was going to make like a puzzle thing where you have to remember where the Earth was versus the moon and where things were. It's really why I wanted it on one screen. It's why I wanted it tile-based. So that was me trying to live up to that. It ended up being a little bit more action-y, which is okay, but this is the puzzly thing of it. You should be able to study this. It's not the end of the world if you die and make a mistake. I'll just show you right here. If you're do this and you think, and yeah, weird physics when you try to do that. That's weird. If you try to do that, oh no, I made a mistake. You know, I wanted you to study this one a little bit. Like, okay, well that doesn't work. Let's do this then. Yep, I like that. You should know that you can't do anything else except go over here. And this was a crazy high jump, but you should, if you studied, you know there's spikes there. If you studied, you know there are spikes there. I wanted to trick you a little bit. And then one more test of like, hey, I taught you how to jump back up to the red platform. You should know that. Back over here, jump well. It's just an ultimate test of everything you've learned so far. This is a fun one. Not a lot of jumping going on because you can't just... I wanted to really, really bring home that you need to moon jump. You just got to do it. This was tricky because I'm surprised it's actually not killing me. Again, this is where the collision of the spikes would really bite me in the butt. Because you would die if you did this, and I didn't want that. So Luke fixed that. That was not me. I give credit to Luke on that one. All right, so I wanted a little bit more obstacles. This level's kind of boring, but I also wanted to give you a safer introduction to these meteors here. They're like little rubber balls. They look like when they're spinning fast, but whatever. I can't get up there, so boom, back up, nothing, boom. And now there are two that you have to dodge. Be a little bit harder. Okay, back up. That says vis-a-vis because that's my favorite word. Because it's really pretentious. Why I like it. I really like how the music kicks in seemingly at this point every time you get to this level. Boom, back up, boom. And now you got a whole lot of meteors. The timing is that much tighter. The reason I'm not crazy about that level, while it's a good introduction to the meteors, and here's some more for you. The reason I don't like it is if you die, there's a lot to replay. It's a little slow, and it's not like a interesting thing to figure out necessarily. It's just, oh, I just gotta dodge the meteors. This one's fun because you're just like, okay, well, can't really do a whole lot there. I actually ran into a lot of design problems because these meteors go straight through. They go right through the floor. It ended up working out okay because you just have to pay attention, but there were times I had to move stuff around. I had to change speeds and stuff because I wanted you to be able to jump back up and jump back down safely. And as you can see, it's not 100% safe. It's pretty safe. If you're paying attention, you can get it back, you can get it done, but it's not ideal. So same thing I taught you, like, oh, that was just me. That's just poor form on my part. Same thing though. Taught you something. Pull it off on the moon. Same thing here. I'm teaching you something, right? These are faster. Can't really jump over them here. Oh, I guess you can. Not easily though. You're supposed to go in through these corners here, which is fun. I like that. And then you just got to pay attention, make sure you don't, and then do it again, sort of. Now this one's a lot easier, right? This section here, this one right here, well, that I can't actually show you. I'm gonna go back. This section here, this section of the moon, was originally just far, far too difficult. A lot of people got hung up on here, so I changed it to be way too easy. I couldn't figure out how to test you on this while timed, while it being fair at this stage of the game. I just couldn't get it done. So as a result, it ended up being relatively easy, and then you're taught, you're not taught, you just got to jump over that meteor, and then there you go. Okay. So now, this is my favorite part of games, is when you see something and you recognize it and you realize, like, oh, okay, I see what they're going for. I see what I have to do. You have been taught about the goo. You've been taught about the moon jump. You've been taught about the meteors. I put them all together in this one. It's like, you should see, if I go down there and I try to jump while I'm on that goo, it's going to be a problem for me. So, gotta jump when I'm not on the goo. And if you're an advanced player and you want to try to moon jump over it while you're on that, it's going to work. And I'll talk about how the meteors stop there in a second. Yeah, like, that's not too hard. This one is just a brief glimpse of what's to come. Same thing here, a little bit harder now, more goo. This time it's coming from the side, which is a lot harder in my opinion. Moon jump up, same thing. Now 2 meteors. A little bit tighter of a jump. You only get like 1 chance basically. And then just some goo for aesthetics. Okay, more tricky jumping, vertical meteors. This time, if I miss this jump and I try to do it, then I'm gonna get stuck and I have to come back up. And I really want you to make that jump, because what I saw people were doing was they were just going like, oh, okay, weep, wop, weep, and they weren't making that jump. I really wanted you to make that jump, but I didn't want you to die if you didn't. Now I want you to die if you don't make that jump. So there you go. Pay attention because it goes through the floor. Back up. Alrighty. So again, same thing. Same thing. I'm going to keep beating you over the head with it. Is that I taught you something? Do it again. This time you're upside down. This time it's a little trickier. This time I wanted you to do that because that's what I saw people doing. This time you should see that you have to do that. You have to moon jump while you're in the air. This time, just super, super tough. Watching out for those meteors. If you miss the jump here, I appreciate, because you don't die. Unless you jump. Here you do, but over here you don't. You just have to start again. Up in the hole. And now those meteors from earlier are biting you in the butt. And then you gotta walk off. That's how you're supposed to do it. Obviously, it's harder if you don't know what you're supposed to do. That is by design, obviously. I think that was the level. Maybe it's this one. It might be this one. So this might be the hardest level in the game. I don't even think this is the last level. Almost certain it is not. I really wanted to get. I wanted to get hard near the end because it was a short game, and if I made it too easy, then people would be people would be done with it in 30 seconds. So I didn't want that. So I made the level, so it's very, very easy for me. But people struggled on this. I watched a couple of my friends play it. They struggled. All right, so similar thing. Not similar thing at all. I don't know what I was thinking here, other than I just wanted a challenge. And I think the bottom section was so hard for some people that I got discouraged, so I didn't want to do it again. This one is just like, oh, get over there quick. Get over there quick. Not a problem. A little bit of a break. This one here is just kind of a little bit, how do I get up there? Because you should see that, oh, I can't actually get up there even though it's right there. I wanted people to think like, oh, I just got to jump up there. And I wanted to make sure you couldn't do that, even though you absolutely can. So if people, if you want a speedrunning tip, do that. I need to put more goo there. The game is out, so I ain't putting more goo there. That's how you break this level. That's the unfortunate thing about not a lot of time, because you can't test everything. But oh well, this is what you're actually supposed to do. Back there, and then boom. There are also, I don't know if this is the level. It might be. You can actually ricochet off the corner. Drives me absolutely nuts. We tried very hard to fix it. There it is. Oh boy. Luckily we introduced a restart level. But you see my point is that you can actually ricochet off the corner due to Unity's weird physics. It's not Unity's weird physics, it's physics. And physics are weird, so when you want a pixel perfect, precise platformer, it's not ideal for it. I'm going to have to look into something else. Alright, back. We're going to do this again. Bop. Bop, 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 bop. Bop, 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 bop. Let's just skip. Now that I know that you can, that's a cool little thing. Alright, so, again, when you introduce a new concept, gotta show them. You gotta show the player. So, you cannot leave this section until you moon jump. You should see, boom! Okay, the meteors stop when I do that. You now understand. You cannot jump over them. You have to do that. The reason they stop is because it's the comical effect of, like, crunch. Oh, you gotta really bask that you crunched your head. But side effect being that the meteors stop at the same time. It adds a cool little, like, ooh, am I gonna make it? I like that. You can't get up there. Be careful not to bonk your head on the meteors. Same thing here. That's just a little fun thing. This thing, okay, I taught you that you gotta bonk. I've beaten you over the head with it. You gotta bonk. You gotta bonk like crazy. But pay attention, because if you bonk over there, it's not gonna go well for you. You should see there's no spikes. My favorite game design thing in the world is that, okay, I've been taught something, and I'm being tested on it. And I'm taught something else, and now I'm being tested on it. Now I'm being tested on it at the same time. Now I'm being tested on this other thing that I was taught. I really love that. And what I really wanted to get across to people is that if you look at this level, you should instantly recognize all the lessons you learned and know how to solve it, right? You should see that green goo down here, I'm going to get my mouse over it. This green goo over here will prevent me from jumping, so I have to shoot up into here. I learned that over here. So now I have to do it over here, same thing. But I realized that, oh, there's no green goo here. I have to get up here, and I can't shoot into that. So I have to jump from here to there. When that stuff comes together, for me, it is like the most satisfying feeling in the world. And that's kind of what I wanted to get across to people. I wanted it to be like, oh, aha! Of course, it was all there. I just needed to put it together. That's what I like to. That's what I like in my video games. And this. This was the final boss. As you can tell, that little devil design face there. See that right over there? I originally wanted this to be a lot harder than it was. And then I instantly died. But that's okay. Because I've been taught through the design how to beat it. And go, go, go! Okay. You can get cheeky. You can probably do two at once, but and play it safe because I'm recording myself. Alright, so this is as simple as falling down there and just making sure you don't bonk your head into the spikes. I keep getting really, really ambitious and jumping too early. I'm not crazy about how that last section turned out. I would have to work on it. But again, this is the last level I made, so it was only natural. For it to be a little flaky, because we just didn't have a lot of time to test. Alright. Boom! Alright. Wait until another one goes. Go, 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 go. And then... Yeah. I should have put a checkpoint. That's okay. Worst case scenario, I just don't beat it. This is the last level anyway. I think. I mean, I wouldn't have put the final boss there if it wasn't the last level, right? If you follow me on Twitch, it's the same YouSayRandy. It's if you twitch.tv/YouSayRandy. You will see me play games, and I will often do music with my mouth, if that's something you're into. And then goofa. Then we got it. Gotta jump. Everything you learn should be used right there, and then waboom! Thank you. Originally, you could. We didn't have, so I'll show you. I'm gonna dig in a little bit to the guts. So on this last level, that's Moon Jump. That's the game. I hope you liked it. Let's see, what level was that? This one here. Okay, I want to get rid of that menu. All right, here we go. So the way that we made the moon, this is the level, the entirety of it, and I wanted it to fit the whole screen, as I said. So when you shoot up, instantly know where you're gonna land. And oh, I didn't even show. I can actually show you now. You notice, like, I put a little arrow there because I really wanted you to know, like, oh, this is where you landed. So the way that we shoot up to the moon is that we have, what is that? Oh, there's something wrong down there, but that's okay. Oh, no, wait, no, there's not. That's fine. Moon portal. See, all right, so there's this collider up here. You hit this collider, it shoots, it tells the game, it goes into the code and says, hey, switch to the moon version of this level. It happens to be, you see how we've got 2 different versions of each level, level 8 Earth, level 8 Moon, so on and so forth. What happened was that I kept messing around with the resolution and the layout of the level. So what we saw was that, and I forgot, I'm such a novice. That I didn't move the collider for the Earth, so there would be just large sections of the collider missing. So you could just shoot up into nothingness, and that was it. You'd just be gone. Eventually, I think the gravity would kick back in, and you'd shoot back down eventually. It's just really stupid. Other fun things we can talk about. So the tile system, tile palette right here. So I've got solid ground, hazards, and goo. These are just the visuals, but here's the tile maps themselves. So no collider, obviously. This is just aesthetics. That's the thank you and all that stuff. The hazards, I have code attached that says if it is on the hazards layout, the hazards map. So if I put something here, like right there, those will kill me. Right? Even though it's goo, it will kill me because they're hazards. Right? If I have it on goo, and if I switch it to, say, that right here, even though there's no goo there, they're going to do the goo because it's the code is attached to the tile map. Down here. Tile map ground. Straight up regular old ground, but tile map hazard. Hazard script. Tile map goo. There's a goo script in here somewhere. The Luke thing, so maybe there is no goo script. Default, no collider, but you get the point. So I really fell in love with Unity a little bit during this process because of how easy to switch back and forth. There are some finicky things about it. So the thing that I kept running into is that I would switch to, let's go back to the tile palette real quick. I would switch to, that's just bad stuff right there. I would switch to hazards, lay down some scissors, blah, 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 blah. Okay, those will kill me. And then I would switch back to the ground and put ground down. But if you notice, I'm still on the hazards tile map, which means that ground will kill you. And I would build entire levels where I would build entire levels with the ground being something that kills you just by the touch. That was a problem. Another couple fun things. I would have to rebuild levels from scratch. There were levels that I completely dumped because they just didn't work. I had a dry erase board at work with a bunch of different colored markers, and during my breaks I would kind of draw the green markers for ground, the red markers for one-way platform, and so on and so forth. And I would draw the levels out, and since it worked pretty well because a dry erase board is about the size of a screen, right? So, but I had this idea for just nothing but one-way platforms, and it was like a maze, and you had to figure it out, and I just couldn't get it working. I wish I could, because that would have been fun. What else is there that we can talk about real quick? There's not a whole lot else. I had a lot of fun making this just to prevent the player from doing all that stuff. I'm not a great programmer. I understand code just fine. Writing it is another story. I'm working on it. I want to be able to code myself, and I can a little bit, but not in the speed or the time that Luke is able to do it. For example, I wouldn't have been able to get this stuff going as quickly. So thank you, Luke, for that. If there are any questions you have about the process of making this game, please let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this, please subscribe. I'm going to be doing more stuff like this because I just love doing this stuff. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good time. I'm trying to think if there's anything else eventful. Oh, I guess I'll talk about the character a little bit. So in order to draw the character, I used something called Piskel App, piskelapp.com, piskelapp.com. Quick login, and this thing worked really well for me. These are characters that I made for games that did not come out. This is my little pirate guy. I would love to make that. I could show you that at some point. I actually still have that prototype. So, but for now, this is the first thing I drew, and it was yellow at the time. I changed it to orange because I wanted to inspire. I wanted him to be a Nickelodeon fan because I was a Nickelodeon fan. I was a fat kid, so I wanted to be a fat kid. I had an overactive imagination, so I wanted him to to think he was an astronaut by putting a fishbowl over his head. But he likes his hat. He has a lucky hat, so he wears it on his fishbowl. So here it is. Here's the tool that I use to draw it. It's just, if you need, I might maybe do a tutorial or something like that down the road about how to use it. But it's free of charge. It worked for what I needed it to do. If I required anything other than a couple frames, probably wouldn't have got it done. There's some limitations on it that I'm not crazy about, but for what I needed it to do, which was a couple frames very quickly, it worked really well. So those are the tools that I use and I used Audacity, which I'm actually in the midst of recording stuff for this video right now on it, as a matter of fact. So here's Audacity. I use that for the sound effects. The other sound effect that I did not mention was me going, ah! Which I'm not going to do right now because I'm talking a lot and there are people in this house and I'm not going to scream. But I screamed in a high-pitched way to get the death sound effect. Not even sure. I probably pitched it up. I think I did actually a little bit. Just a smidge because I'm not a little boy. All right, I think that's it though. Tell me about your experience making games. What did you use, or what are you trying to use? Are you having trouble making games? Is there anything I can do to help you? It's so much fun, and the feedback I got was incredible. I would like your feedback. If you want to play this game, head on over to I'll put the link in the description, but also I think it is nugamedev.itch.io, and it'll be on that page. So go play it. Tell me what you think. As I gave you a couple tricks, I gave you a couple glitches that you can exploit if you want to. Other than that, make sure you subscribe and like and leave a comment. I want the discussion to kick off here. I want to talk to you guys about it. So let's hear about it. I'm going to do some more of this kind of stuff very, very soon. But right now, this is the only game I have. This is the only game I've made. Other games did not come out. So, all right. Tune in whenever I decide to put something else up.